Blue Springs, and welcome to this edition of Positively Blue Springs here on the BSSD Media Network. I'm Tony Reisinger of Sideline Sports, so happy you could join us today. Got a great show. As you can see, we're on location here at the beautiful studios of 1030 AM KCWJ, a great partner of the Blue Springs School District. Today we got Frank White, Royals Hall of Fame second baseman and just Mr. Kansas City. Frank's going to tell us about his great baseball days here in Kansas City with the Royals and now with the Kansas City T-Bones. Then we're going to be joined by Chris Brown. He's the general manager of the Kansas City T-Bones, and Chris is going to tell us about all the great things going on there in Wyandotte County with the T-Bones. They get started up here in May. Then we're going to wrap it up and talk with Ken Ball. He's the general manager here at 1030 AM KCWJ. He flies low under the radar, but he makes things happen here in Eastern Jackson County for the school district. When you enjoy high school football, the Sonic locker room, off the wall with Tim Crone, you name it. Okay, Ken Ball and the great folks here at KCWJ are behind it. That's all straight ahead here on Positively Blue Springs, a presentation of the BSSD Media Network.
This one's called the Kansas City Shuffle.
That's so Kansas City.
This is the hardest one ever.
Ah! Oh! You wasteful showbo.
Irresistibly poppable. Jumbo popcorn chicken. This is how you Sonic.
Good driver? State Farm agent Chad Smith has a discount for that and a lot more. Call or stop by today.
Foster Dental Care is proud to be the Blue Springs dental facility to bring you Positively Blue Springs. Located in the South Outer Road in Blue Springs, Foster Dental Care is the outstanding choice for your family's dental care. At Foster Dental Care, you're always welcomed by a very caring and courteous staff that are among the most qualified and experienced dental professionals in the area. Foster Dental Care is a preferred Invisalign provider, the clear alternative for braces. For the very best in general and cosmetic dentistry, call Foster Dental Care at 228-6988. That's 228-6988. Online at fosterdentalcare.com. Foster Dental Care, proud provider of healthy smiles in Blue Springs for 30 years.
Welcome back to Positively Blue Springs here on the BSSD Media Network. I'm Tony Reisinger of Sideline Sports, and so happy to be joined by the greatest defensive second baseman in Major League Baseball history. Okay, the greatest second sacker here in Kansas City. He's the Hall of Fame here in Kansas City. Of course, that's the one and only Frank White. And Frank, welcome to Positively Blue Springs.
Thank you, Tony. My pleasure. Nice being here.
Yeah. Eastern Jackson County. You know, in your days that you've played here in Kansas City, you've called Eastern Jackson County your home. What do you love about Eastern Jackson County?
Well, I like it because I think it's simple. You know, when I moved to Blue Springs in 1973, you know, it was just really about 18,000 people. It was wide open, and my dad and I, we used to hunt rabbits and all kind and quail and things like that around Blue Springs and in the Green Valley area. And then in 1978, I moved to Lee Summit, which is more on the unincorporated part of Lee Summit, out near 7 Highway, and so I've been in Lee Summit since 1978, so with the exception of maybe 3 years. So, but I like it because it's easy, it's convenient. To me, it's more t-shirt, blue jeans, tennis shoes kind of deal, and I'm a pretty simple country guy, so I just really like this part of the city.
It's different than probably, you know, in downtown Kansas City, where as you're playing for the Royals, I mean, you could go to Price Chopper, you could go to the places and you know, kind of get around town without getting stopped. You still get stopped, but not as much as probably if you're in, you know, walking around the plaza.
Well, that's true. I grew up in inner city, so that was really a big change for me. But I was born in Mississippi. My grandparents lived on a farm down there, and we spent a lot of summers down there. So I'm more of a outdoor country guy, and I think that the Blue Springs school system has always been great to my kids, and I just really think that being on this side of the city, it just everything just is coming to you, so to speak. So we have all the restaurants we want, we have all the entertainment we want, and it's just really kind of neat just having the Mavericks and the Comets and you know, on this side, so you have another source of entertainment also. Right,
and your career in Kansas City, it's unique. Okay, you were born here in Kansas City. Or you were born in Mississippi? I'm sorry.
I was born in Mississippi.
Mississippi. But you were raised here in Kansas City, went to high school here in Kansas City, played ball here in Kansas City, you know, Ben Johnson ball. Then you went to the Royals Academy down there in, you know, down there in Florida. and you come back, you help build the stadium, and you spend your entire playing career playing here in Kansas City. How many people can say that? They helped build the stadium, and they grew up in the town that they played in, and they played their whole career in that town.
Well, Tony, I tell you, the word build always scares me because I tell you, I can't build much of anything. So I think my hobby was putting together those model cars with glue. But I think that just to be able to work at a stadium in the off season, and then find yourself later on in the season working as a player in that stadium, and that's always been phenomenal when I sit back and think about it. But being able to grow up here, play in front of your family, and play all your years here, and just be able to be a part of so many winning years. I think that's what's really about. It's all about to me is that I just got a chance to stay home, and I was part of a team that brought a championship here, and I think that's when it's a lot of fun, when you can accomplish all those goals and still be at home.
One thing with today's generation of kids, even kids up to the age of, let's think now, going on the age of 30. They have not experienced Kansas City as a baseball town like Kansas City was between like 1974 all the way through 1985. Whereas, Kansas City, drawing over 2 million fans out there to Kauffman Stadium. Royals fever was just everywhere. It was so great that you knew who your lineup was year in, year out, knowing that Big John was at first, Frank White was at second base, Freddie was at short, George, of course, at third. Then you got your outfield with Willie Wilson and Al Cowens, and you got A.O., my all-time favorite Royal, along with Frank White.
Yes.
You knew who your guys were, and the fans here at Kansas City just adopted them just like family. And it's probably, and as I see you going out and about in the community today, it's still the same.
Well, I think the fans really look back to that era because it was winning, and I think everybody looks back to say, this is how it could be if this team of today started winning. So I think you got a real good appreciation of the fans last season when the Royals were coming off the best minor league system in baseball. And then as the young players started to incorporate themselves into Kansas City, Hosmer, Moustakas, a lot of the young guys in the bullpen, then I think the fans, they got excited. And I think you really saw a lot of that excitement last season all the way down to the last game in September. And I think that's why the attendance had a big shot in the arm last year.
Right.
So that's why I think the fans are so excited about this season. And I think if the players play the way they did down toward the stretch of last season, then I think carrying that excitement from spring training into this season, the fans are really looking forward to it.
And you talk about the success of the players on the field. You have a huge, mark and imprint on that as the manager at Wichita for a few years. You managed Alex Gordon, breakout season last year. Billy Butler, many of the pitching prospects.
Yes.
How does it feel to see these young men achieve success now on the major league level and know that you had a big part of it?
Well, having Billy Butler and Alex both in Wichita in 06 and watching those guys do what they did. Billy won the batting championship. Alex won every minor league award you can ever win. And then seeing Billy come up here and continue to produce and continue to be a solid big league player, and to watch Alex struggle to get back to that form that I saw him in Double-A. So my biggest fear was the fans of Kansas City would never really get to see the athletic talents that Alex Gordon has. And being in the booth last year and watching all this unfold in front of me, I thought it would be a third base, but he did it all in the outfield, which was a great move for him. Then I think that I felt good because I was telling Ryan in the booth that, a lot of people have never seen this guy at his best. And I really felt like I was one of those rare people. And just to be able to see him go out there last year and produce the way he did, I was just so happy for him.
And they're not just good baseball players on the field, but they're good folks,
good people,
off the field, involved in the community. Billy Butler's involved in some great things, also Alex Gordon as well. And so that right there, that's something that you get those things from your manager, the people that teach you how to be a ball player.
Right.
And I think it's a great attribute to yourself.
Well, thank you. And I really do enjoy watching them. And I had Mitch Meyer and Hoshaver and Greinke and all those guys, and they all went to the playoffs together. And I think that's what winning is all about. It's about getting the right kind of people together who really believe they can win, and then when they get that accomplished, then that kind of carries over, and the fans start to fall in love with you. But players don't stay together quite as long as they did when I was playing, but I was real fortunate because I came into a good situation where guys were ready to win, and that winning just kind of continued, and when you're winning, guys in those days didn't look to go anywhere else. They said, I'm on a good team, I want to win, I'm going to stay. But it's a little bit different now, but I think that today's guys, Tony, I think they still want to win. And I just think it's a slower process for them because I think a lot of times they get to the big leagues a lot faster than they probably should. And back when I played, it was more almost 5 years before you got to the big leagues. And I was one of those young guys, even though I was from Kansas City, and I only spent 2.5 years in the minors, but I still had another 3 years as a utility guy behind Freddie and Cookie to learn my trade and play winter ball and be ready to play when Cookie retired. So it's a little bit different now. They got to come in ready to go.
How was it coming up with the Royals? That you come up as a second baseman, of course, and there's a very popular Royal, an all-star, playing at second base in Cookie Rojas. What did you learn from Cookie, and how tough was it? If I remember right, I mean, he was a fan favorite, and even though you're the hometown guy, it's replacing Cookie. A lot of people, weren't happy with it for a bit.
Well, that's true. And he and Freddie were good. I mean, these guys were fun to watch, and I came up at a time where veterans didn't talk to rookies, so it was hard to get information. We were all on one-year contracts. Nobody knew what each other made, and there was no free agency in the game. And so I think that to learn something from a guy, you really had to pay attention. And then I remember one play Cookie made, and I asked him about it. He wouldn't answer me, and I made my mind up. I'm going to ask him every day until I get an answer. Never know. I didn't know what the results were going to be. But finally he just said, I'm going to be managing in winter ball in Venezuela this winter. So you come play for me, and then we'll talk about baseball and second base. So he issued me the challenge. I went to winter ball in Venezuela, played for him that winter. We went out every day, talked about the shortcuts of playing second base, and then when he retired, then defensively, that just made me a much smarter player and made things a lot easier when I got on the field.
Okay, you played with some great shortstops. I've asked this question before on the radio. Okay. Who was your favorite shortstop to turn the double play with?
Oh my God, I tell you, I'd put two guys there, and that would be Freddie and UL. I thought Freddie, he was so quick, and I think you had to really pay attention to him. His feet moved so quick. He had a great arm, and when he came through a double play, I mean, he came through flying. So you had to really hit him in the right spot. And UL was the same way. Both guys were tough around the bag. They weren't afraid to get guys down at second base. And so when you look at a middle combination, you're looking for two guys that not only are athletically good, but they both are mentally tough, and they were ready to protect each other at all times, and that's what you look for. And with those two guys, I thought that I had two of the best. And in '85, when Buddy Biancalana came along, I mean, he was solid at shortstop, and defensively in the World Series, he matched Ozzie Smith all the way and all the plays he had to make, and really had a great year in '85. And I think that those three guys would probably be the three guys that I probably enjoyed playing with the most.
Okay, let's throw it to your left here. Best first baseman to throw to.
John Mayberry. Easy call.
Yeah. One thing John tells a great story about, what he loved was when you were named second baseman, is that you didn't have to worry about, he said once it popped, he yelled, Frank!
Yeah, he didn't want to catch any pop-ups, that's for sure.
Yeah, and so it's a great story to hear, and behind you in right field, you had Al Cowens.
It was a great, I tell you, I played with some of the best players.
Is he the most undervalued Royal of all time? That one season that he had was
1977. I mean, he was second in the league in MVP voting. He played 162 games. I mean, this guy could throw, he could run, and I think he was one of the few guys during that era that made our team out of AA. And a lot of times you didn't make the team out of AA back in those days. So defensively, he was great. And when you look at the guys who we had on the field, Tony, I mean, you had Mayberry, who, if he had a lot more range, his hands were soft enough, could have been a Gold Glover. You had myself, and you had George had won a Gold Glove, Willie won one, Amos won 3, and Al won a couple. So I mean, it's just one of those things where all around, we were just great all-around players who could do a little bit of everything, and it was just fun to come to the park every day.
Who's your favorite Royal to have played with?
Oh my God, that's a tough question. I mean, we just had a mentally tough team. I mean, everybody brought something different. You know, there was guys who played hard on the field, guys like Wooly and George and Mac, who broke up double plays and took people out. And I think when Whitey went from Kansas City to St. Louis, he said the one thing I really admire about that team was I had 7, 8 guys that go into second base as hard as anybody in baseball. So I think that was the mentality of our ball club. Fundamentally, I would say Amos Otis was probably the best fundamental player I ever played with in terms of managing the game from the outfield, not letting the guy get an extra 90 feet, not trying to throw out a guy that he couldn't throw out. I thought fundamentally he was very good. Base running wise, he taught everybody. He taught everybody how to run the bases and how to steal bases. And
great story there. You talk about the steal bases.
Yeah.
It tells a story about, or John Mayberry tells a story, whereas Mickey Lowell is pitching, and Amos Otis tells John Mayberry to watch the upper hip of Mickey Lowell's pants and talk about with the crease in his pants, and he could tell, you can tell by the way that crease goes if he's either coming that way or taking the ball home. And
well, he was great. I mean, I saw him. I remember we were playing the Brewers. I believe it was '72 at the old stadium, and I believe Marty Patton was pitching. And I heard that Amos said, "I'm going to steal 5 bases tonight," and 3 of them are still standing up, and he got that done. I mean, he could read pitchers like the best of them. I mean, he helped John Wathan when he stole his 36 bases as a catcher. He showed him what the walking lead was all about. He helped myself, and he helped Freddie, and then when Wooly came along, he helped Wooly in how to read left-handed pitching, and as far as just outclassing everybody in running and athletic ability, Wooly was probably the fastest guy that I saw run a triple or inside the park home run. And 13 inside the park home runs is not something that you sneeze at. And really, probably the 2 best athletes I was played with was probably Wooly and Bo Jackson.
Was the Joe Foy for Amos Otis trade? Was that the best trade the world's ever made?
Boy, that was a good one. That was a good one because Amos brought good all-around talent in all areas, and I think that
Richie Scheinblum for Hal McRae.
Now the Hal McRae trade, it took a little while to really show fruits. I remember Charlie.
He had a tough first year going from National League pitching to American
League. Real tough '73. And Charlie Lau came in as a hitting coach, and he took George and Hal and he just started revamping their styles of hitting, and then 2 years later, in 1976, both guys were battling to the last at bat for the batting title, and then a few years after that, those are 2 of the more prominent players in Royals history.
How hot was it out there on that turf in August?
It was hot, Tony. I mean, the only good thing is we only had to deal with it on Sunday afternoon. The only thing that is different about today is I think it still gets just as hot, but I think that the players have a better understanding of how to get ready for it. We didn't know anything about hydrating and all that type of the things that they have, dieting and things like that they have today. And so we just went off the cuff. I lose 8 pounds on a Sunday afternoon,
but that turf was hot.
It was hot.
The ground is not hot. The turf was hot.
Well, and you just always want that pitcher on Sunday afternoon to throw a lot of strikes and get you off the field. But I tell you, if it was probably 90, 95 outside, the turf was probably, it could get up to 140. And I remember one day George Toma cracked the egg on the warning track, and the egg started bubbling, so it was that hot. But you just hated to dive on it because it was hard on the elbows and on your hands and things like that. But I think in the long run, though, I still would have preferred to play on turf than on the natural surface, because there's a lot of things you didn't have to worry about on natural grass. You didn't have to worry about the ball hitting the lip, and you didn't have to worry about playing on a muddy field or anything like that. So everything stayed pretty true. You just have to be a good enough athlete to react to the quickness of the ball.
How big of an advantage was that turf for the Royals?
Oh my God, it was unbelievable. I mean, those first 4 or 5 years, I mean, we had such an advantage because Whitey, when they put the team together, they built the team. You go back to Jack McCann, then he passed it on to Whitey, and it was speed. Our middle infielders and our outfielders all look alike. We all were built about the same. We all could run. We could all steal bases. We all could hit 10 to 20 home runs, and we all played defense. And when the ball was hit, everything that we hit was a possible double. I mean, we we took advantage of everything that the guys coming in who are afraid of the turf were afraid of, and we just took advantage of. If that ball went to the outfield, he was afraid to be over his head, he'd hold back a little bit, we keep going to second, or if you get too close to it, he's got to jump and try to catch it. We just took advantage of it. And in those corners in right and left field, oh my goodness, if they didn't get to those balls quick enough, and back then they didn't have padding, those balls was just wood, and the ball would hit that and roll all the way around the center field if the center fielder didn't come over. So we had all that down, and I think we were anywhere from 90 to 180 feet better than everybody else every night.
This year, you're going to be the first base coach for the Kansas City T-Bones. Excited about it?
I'm excited about it, and I think that I'm excited about it because I have an idea what the minor league baseball is all about. You know, I managed rookie ball and for the Red Sox, and I had an Arizona Fall League twice, and then I've managed Wichita for 3 years. So you have an idea what minor league baseball is all about. You know the kind of players you're going to be getting. Where if you get guys in affiliated baseball, then those guys are trying to get from A ball to AA to AAA to the majors. Where these guys are trying to get from independent league into A ball, AA baseball, just get another shot at getting back into affiliated baseball. So I think it's going to be fun to work with those guys, and I think from the manager's perspective, getting guys that could possibly go play AA. I think that is crucial, and that'll really help you in terms of moving guys back into affiliated baseball. So there's a lot of reward there. If you can get guys picked up, I think that's a good thing. But I think, too, being able to teach. I love teaching the game, and I think if I can pass something on to these guys that'll help them get back in affiliated baseball, then that's going to be great. Okay,
wrapping up our interview here, I'm just going to ask you some off-the-wall questions here, and just hear just what your answers are. And first off is, who's your favorite manager to play for?
I tell you what, I had three of the best, I think. I had Jack McKeon when I first came to the big leagues. I really liked him as a young players manager. I had Whitey Herzog, who I think was the first guy that I played with that I played for that said, hey, go play the game. He said, I know you know how to play. Just make good decisions. You'll never hear from me. So he let us steal when we wanted to, put our hit and runs on, and he said, just play the game for 7 innings as if it's your game. But I'll take over after 7 if we haven't caught up. And so he just said. So I think that was good. When I got to be an older player, in 1983, when George got hurt, and Dick Hauser said, hey, I want you to bat third in my lineup, and I thought he was crazy. But then Dick came from the Yankees, where they were so used to dealing with veteran guys. And I think he really helped me a lot in just progressing my career to the next level. So I like him for that.
Okay. Who is the Royal teammate that you liked watching play baseball?
I like watching Hal McRae play. Okay. Because he played very hard, very aggressive, and he was a guy that I really confided in. And when I had a question about my game, he was the guy that I went to. I just liked his overall approach to the game.
Okay. What opponent did you like to watch play the game? Which player?
Well, I tell you, Hank Aaron, I liked watching him play when he was with the Brewers. I really couldn't take my eyes off of him because I've watched him all my life and read about him all my life, and being able to play against Hank Aaron and Frank Robinson was my favorite player. So being able to play against those two guys, that was a lot of fun. Okay. What pitcher owned you? Probably Nolan Ryan, probably.
Okay, what pitcher did you own?
Oh my God! I did well against knuckleballers. Charlie Huff, and I think Wilbur Wood.
Wilbur Wood.
Those guys are guys that I can flat out remember. But I'm sure there's a lefty out there that got my name on him somewhere.
Okay, last question. Favorite Kansas City baseball memory for Frank White?
Oh man, the World Series. I mean that's it, man. I mean, '80. Losing to the Phillies and then having that big parade, even though you didn't win, and then in your mind you're saying, "Man, I'm hoping I can get to do this again and win," and being able to win in '85 against the Cardinals, and such a great series, and to be able to see the fans in Kansas City, it was awesome. The ticker tape parade, and it was all about the fans at that point. It was just awesome.
Well, Frank, you're in the Hall of Fame here in Kansas City. There's another one that you should be in, and who knows down the road, maybe the Veterans Committee will get their act together and get you in there because you put your stats up against the Bill Mazeroskis and other second basemen, some of who are in there. Because right now, and we've talked about this before, if Brooks Robinson played today, he wouldn't make the Hall of Fame.
That's true. That's true.
So you definitely belong there. And thanks so much for being part of Positive Blue Springs. Thanks for
thank you, Tony.
everything you do for our community here in Eastern Jackson.
Oh,
County.
I look forward to it every day. Thank you.
Okay. He's Frank White. He's the best at what he does. The name of his book is Good as Gold.
As good as gold.
As good as gold, and you know what? Frank White is as good as gold, and he's Positivity Blue Springs. This is Positivity Blue Springs, a presentation of the BSSD Media Network.
Little's Sports Shop, located at 1006 Main Street, is the hometown sports equipment store that has proudly called Blue Springs home for over 50 years. When it comes to sports equipment, Little's has got you covered. Baseball, softball, football, soccer, volleyball, and more, Little's has it. If not, they'll order it. Little's Sports Shop can also take care of your sports apparel needs, uniforms, or spirit wear. You'll find it at Little's. For outstanding service, fast turnaround, and great value, make the winning call. Little's Sports Shop, 229-3606. That's 229-3606. Online at littlesports.com.
A little more, and whoa.
Yeah, nice.
Agents, what do we have here?
An Autobotome. I've only heard about these.
And
we can save them hundreds by combining their auto, boat, and home policies, all under Farmers.
exactly.
Are these legal?
No.
We are insurance.
We are Farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
For great rates and outstanding service, call Farmers Agent Jay Greco at 228-2886 or Farmers Agent Kevin Hornick at 874-4646. Kevin and Jay are proud to bring you Positively Blue Springs.
Print Graphics, located at the corner of 10th and Vesper in Blue Springs, has been providing its thousands of satisfied customers with high-quality print products and services for 22 years. Fast, friendly, and professional service. That's what you can expect every time at Print Graphics. Print Graphics is locally owned and operated and offers the same high-quality products and services as the larger print shops, but at a lower cost. For business letterhead, envelopes, invitations, announcements, catalogs, brochures, or any type of printing product or service, phone or visit Print Graphics. That's Print Graphics, 945 Northwest Vesper in Blue Springs. You can call Print Graphics at 228-1053. That's 228-1053. Or visit them online at printgraphicskc.com.
Welcome back to Positivity Blue Springs here on the BSSD Media Network. I'm Tony Reisinger of Sideliner Sports, and so happy to be joined by Chris Brown. He is the general manager of your Kansas City T-Bones. So nice to bring me this jersey for the T-Bones, starting up here in May in over there in Wyandotte County. And Chris, welcome to Positivity Blue Springs.
Thanks, Tony. Glad to be here. Look forward to a great summer.
Yep. You're a big part of history here in Kansas City with baseball. It's 10th season coming up with the T-Bones. It's amazing, 10 years. And a lot of your promotions this year are derived around that 10th anniversary.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. It's 10 years of fun well done, like we like to say, our slogan. But yeah, hard to believe that it's been 10 years. It all starts again. May 17th is opening day out at Community America Ballpark. But I can remember it just like yesterday, you know, June 6, 2003, that we opened up in that beautiful ballpark. You know, I was with the club in September of 02, and here we are in 2012. It is just amazing. So look forward to seeing everybody over there this summer.
And it's always a great time out there to Community America Ballpark. So many great promotions that go on out there. It's so fun to go to a T-Bones game because the game is great. Everyone loves baseball, but there's so many ways to get the kids involved. The families are involved, groups involved. Tell us about some of the great promotions you have come up here with T-Bones.
Sure. You know, it's just a great family outing. And we like to say, of course, I bleed royal blue here, and I love the Chiefs. You know, we're just a totally different sport as far as laid back, something for everyone, even if you're not a true baseball fan, or great for moms and kids to come out to the playground and have a good time. But, you know, it's laid back. There's not a bad seat in the house. You're close to the action. And the majority of our tickets are under $10. Parking's free. And, you know, for $6, $6.50 or less, you can have a great night of baseball. Obviously, with our 10th anniversary season coming up, one of the neat giveaways we have planned this year is you've started to see them out and about for various major league teams, but a nice stadium art canvas of the stadium. It'll be a great one on May 22nd is one coming up. And then we've got a lot of other fun stuff. The T-Bones replica jersey night, which you see. This will be our 3rd year of doing that, and it's a jersey, a black jersey. It goes back to our 2003 look, if you will. So we're real excited about that. And then, from our standpoint, Mondays kids eat free. Tuesdays we have a lot of giveaways. Wednesdays a family night, post-game catch on the field. Fridays lots of fun themes. Every Saturday night we got fireworks post-game, and then Sundays kids run the bases. So we encourage you to come on out and look forward to another great summer here in KCK.
And there are a lot of great T-Bones fans from here in Eastern Jackson County that make the trek over there. I know a lot of churches and organizations make it a group night over there, and so it's just a fantastic place for fun, excitement, and baseball, and that's the Kansas City T-Bones.
Thank you very much. In fact, we do have several season ticket holders from the Lee Summit area and the Raymore area. And you mentioned it, for as far as group outings, we got nightly party suites, nightly party decks, just various little spots, whether you be a church, a school, or a family, or a work group, to come on out and have a good night of fun baseball.
What does it mean for the T-Bones to have Frank White as their first base coach?
I'm really excited, and I can tell you that our fans are going absolutely nuts by the fact that we've got Frank White as first base coach. Of course, Frank is living out here, Blue Springs, Lee Summit area here in Eastern Jackson County. For him to be on our team and on our coaching staff, what he can lend to our players, what he can lend to our coaching staff it's invaluable. And it'll be fun for the Kansas City fans to come out to our ballpark and see number 20 coaching at first base, and it'll be fun for our guys. The credibility in the clubhouse, in the locker room, in the dugout. It's one thing when your manager or coach says something, and it's also one thing when Frank White says it. Talk about Gold Gloves, All-Star appearances, World Series. He's been in a lot of baseball situations that that experience is just invaluable for our players. I'm looking forward to it, and I know that our fans are too. And the day we announced it, we were a big lead in Kansas City, I guess, on Twitter and at the box office too. So I know Frank's looking forward to it, and our manager Kenny Hook and his staff are excited that he can join us.
Okay, tell us about Community America Ballpark. Okay, just tell us about all the great things that people can do. I know you got the berm area out there, but just all the other fun things outside of the game that goes on at Community America Ballpark.
Sure, as we talked about earlier, this will be our 10th year, and if you haven't been to that ballpark, it's got a little bit of a Fenway Park feel to it. The seats are very close to the action. There's hardly any foul ground. We got the little mini green monster down the left field line, 300 feet down the left field line, so we've seen a lot of home runs go out there. I can tell you, as I looked out to our center field where it's 411 and 396 and 407, I look at it sometimes and I think we need Brian McRae and Willie Wilson to cover our center field out there. It's such a big park. And then the short right field wall as well, kind of like the LA Dodgers, as far as you see a lot of players falling over the wall making a great catch. But again, ticket prices under $10. We've got a party deck down the right field line. We've got some inflatables and playground stuff for the kids on the right field line. Group outings in center field.
Is there any tailgating goes on out there?
There's a little bit of tailgating. You bet. Parking is free at Community America Ballpark, and we have a great group of fans that come out on Friday and Saturday nights and do enjoy some great tailgating out there. It's a fun atmosphere, and I encourage everyone to come on out.
You have a unique schedule. Okay, you guys, your spring training starts, you told me off the air, like May 1st. Okay, your season gets underway, I believe, at home on May the 18th. 6-game homestand, I believe. Tell us about the league, and tell us about travel. Sure. Okay, we're familiar with the Missouri Mavericks out here, busing, down to Texas and busing out to Indiana. Tell us about the league, and tell us about how you travel.
Sure. We are members of the American Association, and there's 13 teams in this league, and I won't give them all to you, but ranging, say, from Fargo all the way up north to Winnipeg, Canada, St. Paul, Lincoln, Wichita area, then many teams in Texas, and it's a 100-game season. 50 at home, 50 away, plus some playoffs. So yeah, it is definitely a bus league. It's not traveling like the big leagues when they're flying nice charter jets everywhere. But we've got a great bus, and it's got some sleeper beds on it. So, but yeah, so sometimes you're taking that 17-hour bus ride to Winnipeg or 16 and a half hours to El Paso. You got to mentally prepare for it. I think, but I will say, Frank and I were talking off the air. It's not like the old school buses or the stuff he was taking in the early '70s.
Right.
So our guys do travel in style, and we've got a great bus partner in that. But yeah, it's pretty demanding. There's not many off days. I mean, the few off days the players do get are travel days. So it's but hey, that's minor league baseball. You play to keep that dream alive, and hopefully you can make it to the next level.
Okay, you were the bat boy for the Kansas City Royals from '85 to '92. Okay.
85 to 92, yeah. One of the bat boys. There's 4 or 5 of us, and I started working in minor league baseball in '93. But lucky enough to get that job in '85. I'm 15 years old, and of course that year finished up tremendous with the World Series. And boy, we thought every year would be like that. But I tell you, I look back on that, and a lot of people forget. '87 the Royals finished in second place, just barely missed making the playoffs. '89 the Royals had the 3rd best record in all of baseball. It's when the A's started winning all their games. The A's must have won 100 million games that year. But we had some great teams, and I was a chance to be around a lot of great guys. From Brett Saberhagen, Cy Young Award, Bo Jackson, obviously Frank White, Willie Wilson, George Brett. It's just amazing times. And I grew up in that clubhouse, and it is amazing. I'll tell you real quick. When you're 15, when you're 18. You don't know what you're doing 2 weeks from that day, or a month from that day, or a year from that day. But I just kind of kept my mouth shut and quiet for a couple of years, and went about my duty. And here it is, 25 plus years later, and I still talk to most of those guys every day. It's just I cherish those relationships.
It's so important to love what you do. And you were a bat boy for the '85 Royals, and here we are 27 years later, and you're still involved in baseball. You're the general manager of the Kansas City T-Bones. You're still here in Kansas City, so obviously you love what you do.
I certainly do, and I joke with our staff and our owners. This is baseball. It's not brain surgery. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure and a lot of crazy hours, but at the end of the day, we get paid to go to the ballpark every day, so that's pretty cool. But I've been involved in baseball and professional sports since I was 15 years old, and I've been an executive in minor league baseball mostly, but also in soccer. But it's tremendous. You really have to like what you're doing. I know you do as well, and you can't complain. I mean, it's professional baseball. But again, I will say it's a lot of hours, a lot of phone calls. I have a wonderful wife and kids that put up with the hours and what it takes to hopefully be successful. But they enjoy the ballpark too, so that's good.
Okay, let's sell you some tickets now. Okay, if someone wants to contact the T-Bones for season tickets, individual game tickets, or a group outing, what phone number would they call?
Sure, 913-328-5618. That's 328-5618. Or if you like, get on the web, tbonesbaseball.com, and you can buy tickets right on the web right there 24/7. So check that out. Also, we can get you some information on group outings, party decks, nightly suite rentals, season tickets, you name it. Tickets are on sale. Home opener is May 17th, and looking forward to another great year.
Okay, well, Chris, thanks so much for joining us here today on Positivity Blue Springs. Congratulations on your great career in baseball, both with the Royals as a bat boy and as an executive with the minor leagues, and the T-Bones. They're Positivity Kansas City. Okay, people here in Blue Springs, we love the T-Bones, and thanks for joining us today on Positivity Blue Springs.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you.
All right, this is Positivity Blue Springs, a presentation of the BSSD Media Network.
BR Carpet, located at 1901 Northwest Jefferson in Blue Springs, carries a complete line of quality name brand flooring products. Carpet, hardwood, tile and stone, laminate, vinyl, and now countertops. You will find it at BR Carpet. Customers appreciate the friendly service and professional installation they receive at BR Carpet, knowing their job will be completed promptly and done right. Update your floors with the help of the folks who are proud to be a sponsor of Positively Blue Springs. That's BR Carpet. Blue Springs owned and operated BR Carpet. More than a great floor. Call BR Carpet at 224-0777. That's 224-0777. Online at brcarpet.com.
Good driver? State Farm agent Rich Montgomery has a discount for that and a lot more. Call or stop by today.
Listen up, Blue Springs. When it comes to high school football, the Cats and Jags are the best. When your home or business requires lawn, tree, or landscaping service, you want the best. The best is the Cutting Edge. For over 25 years, Eastern Jackson County and Kansas City have trusted the Cutting Edge for a variety of professional lawn, tree, and landscaping services. They also do snow removal, decorative rocks, and retaining walls. For the best in landscaping, sprinkler services, tree care, total lawn service, and the custom hanging of your Christmas lights, call Scott Shippey of the Cutting Edge at 220-3714. That's 220-3714. Online at cuttingedgelawn.net.
Welcome back to Positively Blue Springs here on the BSSD Media Network. I'm Tony Reisinger, Sideliner Sports, and so happy to be joined by a man that flies low on the radar, and that's how he likes it. If you love what the BSSD Media Network does on the radio, if you like the Sound O'Clock and radio program, or for 16 years if you've enjoyed the Blue Springs Wildcats, Blue Springs South Jaguars high school football games on television and radio, here's the man, Ken Ball. He makes it happen. He's the general manager at 10:30 a.m. KCWJ. And Ken, as always, welcome back to Positively Blue Springs.
Well, thank you, Tony. It's a team effort.
Yep.
And people have tried to imitate what Vision Sports does and what 1030 does. And then they find out the actual size of the staff and what a daunting project it really is. But 16 years has been that long.
16 years coming up.
Wow.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Time it does fly. I was commenting to somebody when I first came to be general manager here. We've definitely traded up because we've got names that you know and have known in the past and probably will continue to know who are on staff here, and they're here because they want to be.
Right.
And that's the basis of the whole thing.
One thing with 10:30 a.m. KCWJ is it loves Eastern Jackson County, and it just does not make Eastern Jackson County its home, but 10:30 a.m. KCWJ is involved. It's invested in Eastern Jackson County. How important is Eastern Jackson County to 10:30 a.m. KCWJ?
Well, I live in Eastern Jackson County. My wife and I are longtime Grain Valley residents, and you live in Eastern Jackson County,
yes.
And we have a vested interest here. The area is still growing. Boy, is it ever out in our neighborhood. And I kind of like the fact that it's country living out, well, in Grain Valley anyway, and you're about 10 minutes from Kansas City. I like that.
Right.
And it's you see all four of the seasons, and my wife grew up in the Kansas City area. She's one of those Johnson County kids, and she prefers Jackson County. She really does. Great people, and the one thing that I guess impresses me more than anything, well, two things actually. One is the level of community involvement. Especially in the schools, that the students are expected. They're not encouraged, they're expected to be a part of organizations like Habitat for Humanity, American Cancer Society, the Think Pink movement, and they aren't just encouraged to do it, they're expected to do it. And it's a great family atmosphere, and I think it's a great place to raise a family.
Starting this past August of 2011, 10:30 a.m. KCWJ and the Blue Springs School District partnered in a program where it's from 4 o'clock to 5 p.m. Monday through Thursdays. The BSSD radio is aired live on 10:30 a.m. KCWJ. How's that been for KCWJ?
That's an interesting program. It really is. At first blush, we've had several calls saying, what is this? And we tell them about it, kind of explain what's going on, and then they say, how cool? How cool is that? And it really is, because it gives the students an up close and personal idea of what life is like day to day in the broadcast community, both radio and television. I've seen the facilities at Blue Springs South, and they're state of the art. I mean, that's how it's done. And it's the same type of equipment that we work with every day. And I think the students who come out of the program are a cut above.
Right.
Actually, over the winter, we hired our first part-time high school student to come out of the Blue Springs program, and I think he's going to do okay. But the idea of it was to give the students something they could put on their resume, their college resume. I can't say enough about Dr. Sego and Dr. Kinder. They have given us all the support that they could possibly muster, and I, to date, have not heard any negative comments about it. There are a couple of people who called and said, "What is this? You know, explain it to me, give me a little bit of explanation." And when they hear us out and hear our explanation, they say, "That's a really good idea." And the first call we got was from a weekend for a weekday warrior. He travels during the week from Gardner, Kansas. And he said, "You're not changing your format, are you?" "No." "Well, what is this?" "Well, it's a program." And we explained it. And he said, "I live in one of the most prosperous counties in the United States, and we don't have something like this for our kids." He said, "I congratulate you." Mm-hmm. And write that one down.
Yep, exactly. And we talked a little bit earlier in the show with Chris Brown from the Kansas City T-Bones what it meant to have Frank White on as a part of his staff. Okay, with the BSSD radio staff, you know, a consummate professional. Pete Grigsby heads it up. Your thoughts on Pete and what he's doing with those kids?
Well, Pete Grigsby is Pete Grigsby. It's a who's who of media in the Midwest. Pete, Brian Busby, Larry Moore, the whole crew, and I'm proud to be able to call them my friends. I know several of them, and they're consummate professionals, and they don't do things halfway, and they set the bar pretty high for the kids, the standard pretty high, and the students that I've seen so far are responding to it, and I think we've got maybe a future broadcaster or two coming out of the program.
I couldn't agree with you anymore, and I want to thank you so very much on behalf of Vision Sports and Sideliner Sports and the Sonic Locker Room, the great show we do with the Off the Wall with Tim Crone here on 1030 AM KCWJ, what you do for the Blue Springs School District and providing them with the forum to let these young broadcasters have a program on commercial radio. There's only one radio station in Kansas City that would do that, and that one radio station is located here in Eastern Jackson County, and it's 1030 AM KCWJ. Ken, thanks so much for everything you do for us in Blue Springs and Eastern Jackson County. You're definitely positively Blue Springs.
Well, I have the easiest job in the world. Broadcasting for me is a hobby. I don't look at it as a job, it's a hobby. And I kiddingly told Bill Althouse a day or two ago, I said, I have the easiest job in the world. I get to the station in the morning, I unlock the door, I turn on the lights, and you guys do the rest. And that's it, and I stay out of the way.
Yep. But the key thing is you open the door and you make it happen, and thanks so much for everything that you do, Ken.
Well, thank you, Tony. You're very kind.
All right. This is Positivity Blue Springs. We're here live on location at the beautiful studios of 1030 AM KCWJ right down here in the Eastland Plaza by Lowe's and by Costco, and this is Positivity Blue Springs.
Good stuff, huh?
Whoa, that's the last wing.
Yeah. Did you want it?
If you insist.
Not so fast, Jerry. Now, this should be based on merit, and I am the official spokesman of Wingstop.
Well, that's right. You keep talking about them, and I'll keep eating them.
Nobody does wings quite like Wingstop. Whether it's regular or boneless, they're always sauced and tossed fresh with every order in one of our 9 exciting flavors. It's no wonder we're selling over 1 million wings a day. Wingstop, the wing experts.
Welcome back to Positivity Blue Springs here on the BSSD Media Network. want to thank our great guests that made our show fantastic today. Thank you to Frank White, the Hall of Fame second baseman for the Royals. Okay, great stories, just Mr. Kansas City, and really added to the program today. Also, thank you to Chris Brown. You get a chance, head out to Wyandotte County to Community America Ballpark. Check out the T-Bones. It's great for families. It's great for individuals. It's great for a group outing. So just go out there and cheer on the Kansas City T-Bones. And once again, thank you to Ken Ball and all the great folks here at 10:30 a.m. KCWJ for making everything that happens in Blue Springs on the radio with the school district, the Sonic Locker Room, Off the Wall with Tim Crone. If it wasn't for 10:30 a.m. KCWJ, a lot of this great stuff wouldn't be going on here in eastern Jackson County. And thank you to you, the viewers. We really appreciate you inviting us into your living rooms, and thank you to the Blue Springs School District for providing us with the forum to present Positively Blue Springs. I'm Tony Reisinger of Sideline Sports. Make it a great day.
Hi, I'm Dave Osborne, and I'm from Charlie's Auto Collision Repair. We're located in downtown Blue Springs on 11th Street, actually the corner of Vesper and 11th. Our business is notable in the community because we have a building surrounded by palm trees. Not real ones, but palm trees anyway. We've been in business for a little more than 35 years. We're a family-owned business. Currently the business is operated by myself and my brother, and my wife does the bookkeeping. And in the 30 or so years we've been doing body repair, we've grown from a little small 2-stall garage up to our present facility, which is about a 20-bay work area. We repair anywhere from 20 to about 50 cars a week, depending on how serious the needs are. Our shop does all the kinds of things that the body of an automobile might need. When I say that, we don't do mechanical repairs, but if you have an accident, or your door doesn't open and close right, or your window doesn't go up and down right, or any of those kinds of things that have to do with the actual body or coach of the car, our facility works on. We're open Monday through Friday from 8 o'clock until 5 p.m. We give free estimates during that entire time. You can come up at any time and we can take a look at the vehicle that you have or the damage that you'd like to have estimated and give you an idea of what it would be to repair it. Charlie's Auto Collision does repairs on most kinds of vehicles and for most companies. We are currently a direct repair facility for a number of these insurance companies, which basically means that we're basically a one-stop shop. We're able to look at your vehicle, photograph it, make an estimate on it, upload or send that estimate to an insurance company, and you basically drop your car off and pick it up done, and we send the insurance company a bill for the repair. Most insurance companies have a program like this. It's in general referred to as direct repair, and the concept is to streamline the repair process and make it a little simpler for folks, and it genuinely does it. Usually makes it a little bit less expensive as well as being a little faster. So please give us a call if we can help you out with auto body repair on your vehicle. We've been in town a very long time, and we do our best to make everyone happy. We offer a lifetime guarantee on any repairs that we do, and have stood behind Blue Springs residents for a very long time. Please come see us.